what's up, guys? Welcome back to the After Hours discussion. I'm your host, the AHLX, and welcome to my dear media land. Stay with us, don't go anywhere, because this is going to be a different type of episode.
This is the After Hours discussion with your host, the AHLX.
All right, guys, and welcome again to the After Hours discussion. I'm your host, the AHLX. Last week, I was joined by TB Zello, Sinister Music's group's very own, where he talked music and even performed his Smash original live. That's right. But this week, we're going to switch it up. No comedy, no music involved, because I'm going to be joined by How to Fade Barber School founder and WAHL teacher. That's right. Put your hands together for Nieves Almaraz.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Nieves?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be sitting here with the AHLX.
Nice. So I would ask how it is, how the trip was here, but we pretty much live a few minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
So for the most part, Nieves, I want to dive right into. Of course, I think the first thing that we should start doing is introduce yourself. Let people know exactly what you got going on right now, who you are, and what you represent right now at the moment.
So I'm Nieves Almaraz. People know me as How to Fade Hair. A lot of people say I wrote the book on how to fade hair. And that kind of goes back to years back when I started my educational brand, and I kind of embodied the name How to Fade Hair. It became a brand, and now I'm just pushing it and that's what I keep on doing. I just keep pushing the brand.
So as far as barbers, I think everybody has a backstory as far as to why it is to get involved in certain things, from musicians to comedians, like I mentioned earlier on. In this case, how is it that someone like yourself, gets involved into barbering, picking up the first pair of clippers and, saying, I'm taking this seriously, I want to do something with this. Where did that all come into play for you, Nieves?
I would say many years ago, when I had a head full of hair, I actually was going to a barber shop, and I really liked the atmosphere and the ambiance of the shop. So I was going there for some time. I asked the barber that was cutting my hair, what was he making doing this as a living?
Right.
And he told me, and it was like double the amount I was making at the job I was at the time. So it really sparked my interest. I actually bought my first set of clippers out the shop that I was going to. There was a guy sweeping up around there.
Okay.
And he sold me this box. It had everything in it you needed, down to the straight edge razor. I didn't really know how to use it, but what I did was I took those clippers, that box, everything, and I just cut anyone's hair that would let me cut their hair. And that kind of got me going as far as what I was doing. So I was about maybe 2 weeks in, and I felt like I was the best barber on the planet.
Okay.
Hey,
I mean...
I'm kidding. But I actually had to evaluate what I was doing. And it kind of went into... maybe I should go to school for this.
Okay.
Because there were certain things I knew I didn't know, like using scissors to cut hair and things like that. So that made me kind of open up the yellow book.
Okay.
This is how far back it was. Now you can Google everything or hop on YouTube.
Right.
And, you can find these sort of things, this sort of education, for barbering or anything at that.
Tutorials.
So that's kind of what I did. I opened up the yellow book. I looked for a school. I didn't really have any idea of what a hair program was, or there was a license to even cut hair.
Yeah.
So I found out a lot of this as I went along with it.
Oh, so you were just having to take a few risks here and there and just, see where it led you ultimately?
Yeah, well, just to kind of paint the picture for you, the school I attended first, I went in there and no one was there that day. It was it was closed. Mm-hmm. So I went in, I signed the contract, and I started the next day. Mm-hmm. And when I walked in, there was a bag there waiting for me with roller sets, nail files, things to do, everything to start my career as a hairstylist, cosmetologist.
Okay.
Okay. So that alone, I didn't even understand the concept that, hey, there's a beauty school and a barber school. No one ever told me. So I ended up signing up for hair school, cosmetology school. And I mean, at first I just thought, great, I got something to give my mother, you know?
Right.
But turns out I needed all that to start my journey in cosmetology.
Okay. Hey. Oh. Well, now you mentioned how to fade and what this represents and what it stands for. Now I know you came out with three separate projects, disc projects. You want to talk a little bit about the first one and leading up to that third, if not fourth one, if I'm correct. You came out with like a mashup.
Yeah, so I mean, it all kind of goes back to me starting off my career as a cosmetologist, because what I would do was I would go to these conventions.
Right.
There's hair conventions that are huge, thousands in attendance. If I could paint that picture, it's like going to the auto show.
Oh,
That's
big.
And there's just brands from everywhere that go there, and it inspired me. But one thing I noticed when I was walking this show was there wasn't really a lot of what I was interested in per se, as far as being behind the chair, like the barbering aspect. So that was one thing that I was able to notice when I was walking these conventions.
Right.
And I thought to myself, well, there's something missing here. And that kind of like sparked an idea for me to do an instructional video.
Okay.
So I was cutting one of my clients up. He actually was like a known DJ on like B96.
Oh, wow.
He actually had a lot of mixtapes that I listened to growing up in Little Village. So I was very familiar with the sort of content he was creating, and he was like a really good marketer. And one day I'm cutting his hair and I'm telling him, hey, I'm going to shoot this instructional video. And he says, oh, you're going to do a how-to? And I'm like, bing, light bulb, And that's when I came up with that how to fade hair. And at the time it was like, all right, you have this idea in your head, but you need to bring it to life, So in my mind, it just kept playing like this vision of how to with a question mark. And if you remember, like back in the day, there was like this got milk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And got milk used that question mark.
Right.
So I wanted to take the lettering from like fading, barbering, and all these like different words,
right,
and put them into a question mark. And I send them to my graphic designer. And it's funny though, when you work with graphic designers and your vision, and to interpret that over from what they can do, it sometimes don't look the way you envision it in your head.
I can relate a little bit.
But nevertheless, I created the logo, I created the brand, and I had the vision to put education out there that I didn't see at the moment. So that sparked the first instructional video that I created, and that was back in 2008. And then from there, I released volume 2, volume 3.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, apps were a big thing and a big deal. So I created an app that was an instructional app, like it had videos where you could download it, learn how to cut hair.
What's the app's name?
It was called Fade Hair.
Is it still up and running right now, currently?
No.
Okay.
So the app market is an interesting market.
Okay.
I almost feel like now it would do better than when I launched it. I think it was ahead of its time.
Oh, I see.
But however, you can do a lot of what you do on an app just by leading people to websites. And there's a lot of like, I have an online academy.
Okay.
So anything that was on that app, I kind of revamped it, made it stronger, and it's now on an online platform that people can visit.
Okay. So I want to hold off right there. You know, that's a good portion. I'm pretty sure that's not the whole thing of how it all began for you. Because How to Fade, again, it goes into a school. But we haven't touched yet on that. Because we're going to go to a quick commercial break real quick right now. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more detail on the school part and actually the prop you brought in today. All right? So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. We're going to a quick commercial break. Stay with us.
Do you want a clown for your party or an entertainment specialist? Do you want a loop snatcher or a seasoned music producer? Do you want a karaoke roll call or do you want a buddy to sing with? Then call and book S&R now for your entertainment needs.
And we're back. This is the After Hours discussion with your host, the AHLX.
All right, guys, welcome back on the After Hours discussion. I'm your host, the AHLX, and I'm joined here by Nieves Almaraz. Almaraz, you want to greet the people one more time?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right, Nieves. So we left off talking about How to Fade, right? Talked about the first three discs that you created. On top of that, when you hit the app. So now we want to talk about How to Fade Barber School. How did that come into play, Nieves?
So the How to Fade Hair Barber School was kind of something that I wanted to do for years. You know, like I said, in 2008, I started really like developing education as far as in the barber world, you know, and I wanted to carry that over and, you know, have something brick and mortar, you know, something where people could physically come to. So the beauty of the barber school that I opened is that this is a place that's going to create opportunity and create growth in the community. And also the students who attend, they can be licensed professionals coming out of my school now, you know. So we're, you know, certified by the state, and we follow all the state regulations so that these students can learn this trade.
Okay. And I vouch for this, guys. I get my hair cut almost every week at the place, so I vouch for this.
Yeah, and you actually get your hair cut with my son, Jacob.
Yep.
He goes by Jacob Fade Hair on the socials.
There you go.
And so if you guys want to, you know, get up with the AHLXS barber, you guys go see Jacob. But Jacob is actually the first barber student enrolled into my school.
Awesome.
So, you know, not only is it about the school, it's also about legacy for me. You know, one day I could see him running the school himself, you know, along with his brothers and sisters, if they can all get along and, you know, keep everything civil.
That smile is All right. So, I mean, as far as for the school portion right now, you know, how many students do you usually take in right now?
So we're probably turning, after about 2.5 years now of being open, we've had over 60 students at this point.
Wow.
You know, so it's actually going very well. We're the only one in the state of Illinois right now that actually offers the program in Spanish.
Okay.
You know, so we actually teach out of the book in Spanish.
Okay.
A lot of schools are not capable of doing that, you know, so that's a big shout out to my wife, Christy. She's the one who actually is teaching out the book, you know, in Spanish. So, yeah.
All right. So again, with the school portion, I do know that you are sponsored, correct? Your school has a sponsor behind them, and you actually have some relations with that sponsor themselves. Do you want to talk a little bit about as far as the depth that it goes into that?
Yeah, so I mean, I do a lot of education, and when I did create the How to Fade Hair brand, I would take my disc, my DVDs, I'd put them in my trunk. I'd sell them out of my trunk. I'd go shop to shop, salon to salon, driving all over the state of Illinois. I've drove all the way down to Orlando, and attended like exhibits there as well. But one thing, when I was at one of these exhibits or one of these conventions, the owner of a clipper manufacturer company approached me, and he was just kind of looking around to see what was going on. Why was I attracting the crowd I was attracting? Because I mean, I had like this little 10 by 10 foot booth, 100 square feet. And some of these places, like I was painting that picture earlier about the car show,
right.
You could imagine like Chevy going up against somebody who is like just an independent trying to, scratch the surface. That's what I was doing.
Okay.
And, this clipper manufacturer came up and was watching and interested in what I was doing. And they ended up sending like one of their educators back to my booth later to give me some of their tools. And I think that was like my first introduction to the actual manufacturer and them knowing who I was.
Okay.
So that sparked the relationship. Later on, I would go on to sign a contract with them, and it's actually WAHL Clipper Corporation.
Yeah.
They're the very first manufacturer of clippers. So they invented the clipper. And for me, it's a huge honor to do education for them.
Okay.
I'm part of their education team.
Okay.
Actually, about 2 weeks ago, I just received a phone call from them to work on a project. And this is a global project. So I'm not only doing education nationally, it's international with this manufacturer now. And we keep a tight relationship. They support the education that I do through my brand. So I have separate entities. One is the barber school, and also there's How to Fade Hair as an educational brand that goes around and offers our education. And right now they're sponsoring the events that we're holding.
Okay, all right. And you just had one yesterday, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Out in Elgin, Illinois.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey. So, so after being in your shop, Nieves, and seeing a bunch of your achievements, from on glass cases, magazine covers, celebrity, you've even touched celebrities. My camera guy is livid because of it. Would you mind elaborating on a few of those, projects that, or some of those achievements that you've already, from the covers to who you've been able to cut?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like celebrities go, everyone's always asking me about that. Yeah, who have you cut that's a celebrity? And what I always like to say is everyone who sits in my chair is a celebrity to me. I don't get like starstruck on those type of things. But for me, the journey is more of what I get like amped up about, So like for instance, the year before, we actually did a whole educational tour around the U.S. And the clipper manufacturer put our faces on these boxes, an exclusive clipper machine that you could only get if you attend this event. And that was huge for us, to see our pictures on a box of clippers, So we did that, and I mean, it's so crazy, because you do feel like a rock star in a sense, because people want your autograph, man, when you go to these things, and it's amazing, because you aspire people just because you decided to pick up some tools years back,
Exactly.
And our industry is so huge, and it's billions of dollars being made through our industry. And if you can tap into it and get a piece of, that pie, that's kind of what you want to look at. You want to be, that's the beauty of being a barber, because you can be an entrepreneur, you can start your own brand, you can make instructional content, you can work with manufacturers, the opportunities are endless. You could own your own school, and I tell that to my students all the time when I'm in my school. And I also tell them the people around you are your network. You never know, the person next to you could be your business partner in the barbershop you guys open up. True. So I'm always trying to speak that to them.
Open their mind a little bit more.
And get out there and put yourself on the line, and that's exactly what I did with this award that's next to me here.
That's the next thing that I actually wanted to dive deep into. Where did this come into play, Nieves, and what does this represent?
So this award here, if I paint the picture like I did with the conferences and whatnot, the barber industry has their Grammys. The hair industry, I want to say, because it's not limited only to barbers. It's limited to stylists, nail techs, makeup artists, everyone. What we do is they have their Oscars, their Golden Globes.
Okay.
And, to receive this award, it's one of those things where they announce you on a stage, a huge stage, and they open the envelope and say, and the winner is,
wow.
So this award is me competing in a competition called NAHA, which is the North American Hairstyling Awards.
Okay.
So this is all North America here that I competed against. So you put your collection of your haircuts out. It's 3 haircuts that you do. You shoot the photos of this collection, and then you submit that, and you go up against everyone in North America who submits theirs, and then it gets narrowed down to the top 5. And from the top 5, you are all in attendance at the hair show, at the award show, sitting there in the audience,
just waiting.
With your palms sweating, and
that's something out of you see on TV at the Grammys, definitely. Yeah.
So they called my name. I went up there, received the award, said my speech, and the thing about this award, though, is it's very, very special because the award actually sends Men's Hairstylist of the Year. And that's the category I won in. And the thing about it is that I always feel like, me personally, I'm involved in changing and shaking up the industry. And one of the ways I feel that I did that was this award has that name on it, Men's Hairstylist of the Year, but this is the last year that they actually had that category. This category got changed to Barber of the Year. Oh. So before, there wasn't that many barbers entering into these these competitions, And now barbers have to be recognized because someone like me comes along and I produce work that is precise, and it's a work of a barber. And it just doesn't compare, So I feel like, we trailblazed on that one.
Wow. Man, and this put you actually on a magazine cover as well, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so just like Rolling Stone, we have our version. It's called Barber Evo. Okay. And it's an international magazine as well. So I got the cover of the North American issue in that year when it came out. So when I got the award. Yeah. So that's a huge honor as well.
And when I say that them haircuts that you did, because those are the ones you have on the wall, you said, right? You have them at your barbershop. You guys need to check this out. You have them on social medias?
Yeah, they can look at all my content.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that at the end. I know. Hold off on that. I know. And we're going to get to that at the end where I want you to share every single thing that you got to say. But as far as barbering, I mean, again, I'm pretty sure you can keep going and going and a bunch of different, experiences that you've had. Any one in particular you want to cover on the side of all the ones we have already?
I think that this award was quite an honor, but I think after everything, I just kind of continue to push. I'm not satisfied where right. And we're looking into growth right now too. So these are great accomplishments, but I don't feel like I'm there yet, and I'm gonna keep pushing.
Okay, all right. So are we looking to see if maybe you're gonna be running for the best barber in the next coming years?
Absolutely. Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. All right, guys. So right now we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, Nieves is actually gonna be performing a, what would you call it? Presentation. What is it that you refer? Because I know you do these frequently.
I would say it's a little educational, and I'm gonna do a design. And this design that I'm gonna do, it's been replicated around the world for many, many years since I've actually put it out there.
All right then, guys. So again, don't go anywhere. When we get back, he's gonna do his thing. Stay with us.
If you're looking for a tattoo apprenticeship and can't find a good place to take one, look no further. Welcome to Toltec Tattoo, where you can get taught the basics of tattooing and more advanced techniques by Julio Gomez, a tattoo artist with over 15 years of experience. By the end of the training, you'll have the right skills and techniques to get you tattooing in a healthy and safe way and start your tattoo career. If you're interested in becoming a tattoo apprentice, speak to us today.
And we're back. This is the After Hours discussion with your host, the AHLXS.
All right, and here he is doing his educational presentation, Nieves Almaraz.
So I'm back, guys. Nieves Almaraz, also known as How to Fade Hair, and I'm here with my son, Jacob Fade Hair. And as promised, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of techniques in doing designs. And these are techniques that I teach in my barber school to my barber students. All right, so when I do designs, I always like to work off of like letters. So the number one letter that I use is actually the letter N. Why do I use it? Because my name is Nieves. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and come in here using my trimmer. And I like to just start to place my letter in here so that it will actually pop really, really nice. So I always like to do kind of like a rough draft, and then I end up going back in and making my lines a little more predominant. And I feel like, me being from Chicago, these designs, like I was saying earlier, they've been like redone and reinterpreted all over the world. Like I had went out to Chile to do some education out there, and I was teaching these designs out there, and I even had people come up to me out there and tell me that they've seen this on YouTube when I had put it up there, so I always like to tell everyone when they do this, they're actually doing this and they're putting my name out there around the world, so it's a great honor, and a great responsibility as well for me to actually show this. And like I was saying, me being from Chicago, I always feel like we have like this unique way that we do designs ourselves, and we have like this graffiti style. That's the way I like to put it. So I incorporate that Chicago style with my designs, and now it's seen all over the world. So once I come in with my trimmer and mark in just that rough draft, I come back through and I actually widen my lines. I start to add what I like to call flavor. You know, you don't just want like these real thin lines in there. You want to kind of go in and really make your design stand out and pop. So those of you who are watching, if you actually have seen this style of designs, just know that, you know, it kind of comes from Nieves, How to Fade Hair, and also Chicago, the city of Chicago. This is how we represent what we do out there. So all I'm doing is kind of like adding on a little more design work in so it can fill up all of this space now. And after I kind of lay in my initial design, I normally will come back with my straight edge razor and clean up within. So even my straight edge razor, I use the fade razor. I actually make these myself, and later on we'll explain to you where you can actually find them. The razor on here is a little more exposed than normally what you would see. So I will come back in here and clean out the design, make it look real nice, sharp, and crisp. And that's gonna give you guys that rough idea, that rough draft of what I'm doing. All right, so you guys see the total outcome just by adding that graffiti style. I worked off of the letter N, which is how my name starts, Nieves. And you guys can actually see the total outcome of the design.
All right, and that was Nieves Almaraz with his educational demonstration of how to put graphics. Nieves, you want to elaborate a little bit on what you did exactly? Just give a little more detail on that.
You know, like I was explaining it, you know, it was just something that, you know, I kind of wanted to incorporate, you know, that Chicago graffiti style in with my name actually. So I do use a lot of N's and Z's. Okay. You know, like my last name, Almaraz, the Z at the end. And the N, they're perfect letters for design work, and you know it showcases, you know, that whole Chicago style.
All right, hey, I can't be mad at that. I might have to get some myself. Have to get this hair going. But as far as again, where we can find you at Nieves, what you got going on right now, any projects you wanna let the people know exactly all that information?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I always got a project brewing. Like I said, I don't stop. But right now, we're actually we're doing the How to Fade Hair experience. Like I said, we just did Elgin. So what we do is we go around to different areas in Illinois, and we offer our education. Next up, we're gonna be doing Gurney. Gurney, yeah. So and then we'll bring it back home towards the Chicago area. And you know, I got plenty of projects going on also with the clipper manufacturer. Right. And you know, we're just gonna keep it moving. Maybe, you know, I'll even enter into the North American Hairstyling Awards again this year, you know.
But this time you said it's named Barber, the best barber, right? All
yeah,
right,
Barber of the Year.
Barber of the year. All right. So that's right now coming for you. As far as for the school-wise, you said expansion. Yeah. What's that looking like as far as how many years down the line?
You know, I had a 5-year plan.
Okay.
We're about 2.5 in, and I've already surpassed that plan. Ooh. You know, so we're definitely growing rapidly, and we're going to continue to grow. And if anyone wants any info on the school, you can find me everywhere, social, internet website. The address is howtofadehair.com.
Okay, How to Fade. And yourself, your personal pages, again, we'll find you under those.
How to Fade Hair. You'll find me on YouTube, Twitter,
Google,
Instagram, Threads, how to
Nice.
fade hair.
All right. I mean, so again, project. Any upcoming, as far as you said, events you're gonna be going around still, but any specific events that you wanna, that you maybe look forward to big time? Any, on the set of
Well,
whatever you've done?
every event is. I always feel like when you present something or you go behind the camera, it's always good to get that feeling in your stomach. That
Right.
them butterflies. So whether it's your first or your next, you always you're passionate about what you're doing when you have that feeling. So I get that feeling with every event. I
Every
do.
event, nice. And how much more time do you say you want to, dedicate on barbering before you like actually? I don't want to say put the clippers down because of course I feel like that's something you're never gonna really do. But as far as like to take a step back and like you said, maybe your son Jacob is gonna take on a bigger role, responsibility. When do you probably see that probably coming into play?
I know I'll know when I get there.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, that's
yeah.
that's fair. Okay, I mean, but anything else you want to let everybody know? As far as again, where's your school located? Actually, where's the
So
school
we're
located?
we're located in the town of Cicero.
Okay,
And like I said, we're the only ones offering the program in Spanish. So
hey,
that's something, if you're interested, come out, talk to our admissions rep, and we'll get you in.
all right. Again, I will make sure we put all the links and descriptions on the bottom, guys. Again, we want to thank you guys. We were joined here with Nieves Almaraz, barber, educator. Again, many hats he wears. Nieves, anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you for having me. The AHLX.
He's having a bit of a hard time pronouncing that, but it's okay. We'll tweak them in there and somewhere in the edits, all right? But again, guys, we want to thank you guys because next week it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to kick it back to the music because next week I'm going to be joined by Sinister Music's own Sinister. That's right. He's going to be performing, talking his rise into music, and getting in depth into a few more details. But for right now, I want to thank you guys for being here on the After Hours discussion. I'm your host, the AHLXS, and until next time.
Thanks for tuning in on the After Hours discussion. Until next time.